February 12, 2026. China attacks Taiwan during the night. By sunrise, every Costco, Walmart, and Home Depot across America has crowds circling the buildings. By midday, the shelves are bare, not just running low, completely bare. And here's what these people purchased during their panic buying spree: toilet paper, canned soup, bottled water, batteries, rice, pasta. The identical list they purchased during COVID. Comfort supplies, familiar products, things that give them a sense of security. And 6 months later, they're dead, not because they failed to prepare, but because they prepared in February rather than January, because they purchased out of panic rather than planning, because they grabbed 40 products that are worthless and overlooked the 20 products that matter. You're viewing this in January. The Taiwan Strait is tense yet stable. Shelves are stocked. Prices are regular. You have precisely one choice to make. Stock up on the correct 20 products now, or join the February chaos and perish with everybody else. What do people purchase when they panic? The same predictable junk every single time. Toilet paper, bottled water, canned soup, bread, milk, batteries. Observe any emergency unfold, and the pattern repeats with clockwork precision. COVID, hurricanes, winter storms, supply chain scares. The products vary slightly, but the mindset is identical. They're not analyzing, they're reacting. Human panic follows evolutionary programming etched into our minds over millions of years. When danger triggers, we don't think critically. We imitate. We seek comfort. We grab what appears familiar and feel secure. The neighbor's filling their cart with pasta, so you grab pasta. The news displays empty shelves, so you purchase before shelves go empty. Everyone's rushing toward the bottled water, so water must be essential. It's pattern-driven behavior. Predictable, deadly. Here's what they're truly doing when they panic buy. They're preparing for a temporary disruption. 2 weeks, perhaps a month. A hurricane passes, electricity returns. Stores restock. Life goes back to normal. That's the mental framework. Short-term disruption requiring short-term supplies. World War III is not a short-term disruption. When China attacks Taiwan and the U.S. retaliates, you're facing 6 to 24 months minimum before any supply chain recovery. Minimum. Manufacturing breaks down. Shipping halts. Fuel becomes limited. Grocery stores don't restock. The power grid becomes unstable. Martial law restricts movement. This isn't a 2-week power failure. This is complete system breakdown that lasts seasons, possibly years. And 99% of people are planning for the wrong situation. They stockpile variety and comfort, familiar foods, regular routines, things that make them believe life will stay mostly the same. They purchase 40 different products in small amounts instead of the 20 essential products in large amounts. They prepare based on feelings instead of strategy. The planning gap is enormous. While they're purchasing what makes them feel ready, you're purchasing what truly keeps you alive. While they're running on panic and gut feelings, you're running on planning and numbers. There are 4 categories the crowds completely overlook: basic medical supplies, calorie-packed food staples, infrastructure maintenance products, knowledge storage tools. Those 4 categories hold the 20 products that separate living from dying. Let's begin with the category nobody wants to discuss because it's not glamorous, not comforting, and completely critical. Medical and hygiene products the crowds ignore until it's too late. Picture the drugstore on February 12th when the attack begins. The looting starts within hours. People are breaking through doors, fighting over painkillers, grabbing trauma kits and antibiotics. First aid supplies vanish in minutes. Bandages, gauze, antiseptic, splints. The tactical medical area gets cleaned out by people who watch too many action films. You walk past all of it to the aisle nobody's approaching. Item 1, anti-diarrheal medication. Imodium, generic loperamide, whatever brand is cheapest. Purchase 200 doses minimum. Price right now in January about $15 for a bottle that covers multiple incidents. Here's why it's important. Diarrhea kills more people in emergency situations than bullets, bombs, and radiation combined. Not an overstatement. Historical truth. Dysentery killed more soldiers in every war before World War II than fighting. Cholera outbreaks, polluted water, poor sanitation. The pattern continues. The timeline is harsh. Severe diarrhea causes dehydration. Dehydration causes electrolyte imbalance. Electrolyte imbalance causes cardiac arrest and organ failure. 72 hours from start to death if left untreated. One contaminated water source, one risky meal, one sanitation breakdown, and your entire survival strategy collapses into a fight against your own digestive system. $15 stops that, but nobody purchases it because it's not heroic. Item 2, dental emergency kit, temporary filling material, clove oil for pain relief, dental picks, possibly extraction tools if you can manage it. Total price $30 to $50 depending on how complete. A tooth infection during normal times means a dentist visit. A tooth infection during World War III means blood poisoning. Bacteria from an infected tooth enters your bloodstream. Sepsis kills within days without antibiotics, and antibiotics disappear. Temporary fillings by time. Clove oil reduces pain. The kit prevents a small problem from becoming a deadly one. But it's not exciting, so the crowds ignore it. Item 3, diaper rash cream and petroleum jelly. Purchase multiple large containers. Total spending $20 to $30. Skin damage kills. When hygiene breaks down and you can't shower regularly, moisture and rubbing create infections. Rashes become open sores. Open sores become infected wounds. Infected wounds become body-wide infections. Petroleum jelly creates a protective barrier. Diaper rash cream handles damage before it becomes serious. Basic, unglamorous. Completely necessary for long-term survival when you're not washing daily. Item 4, period supplies. If you have women in your home or group, this is required. If you're male and believe it doesn't concern you, you're wrong. 6 months minimum. More realistically, 12 to 24 months of supply chain breakdown. Calculate it. One cycle every 28 days. 12 months equals roughly 13 cycles. Multiple women in the home multiplies that number. Reusable menstrual cups plus disposable backup. Total price $100 to $150 for full coverage. Supply chains collapse in week 1. This isn't something you can create on the spot. The pattern is clear. They stockpile action movie fantasy. Trauma kits for gunshot wounds they'll never handle. You stockpile biological truth. The ordinary failures that truly kill people when society collapses. Everyone's purchasing canned soup and pasta right now. Comfort food, familiar meals. They'll be tired of it in 2 weeks and undernourished in 2 months. You're stockpiling energy calculations, not memories. They're filling shopping carts with canned chili, Chef Boyardee, frozen dinners, soup variety packs. Comfort food, meals that remind them of regular life. Walk up to any cart during the panic purchase and ask them a basic question. What's the total calorie amount? How many days does that truly feed your family? They don't know. They didn't figure it out. They grabbed what seemed right. Insufficient, because they're stockpiling feelings, not. Your body doesn't care about taste variety. It doesn't care about familiar meals or comfort food. It needs one thing: calories, energy to keep organs working, body heat stable, physical movement possible. 2,000 calories per person per day minimum. No exceptions. Calculate it. Family of 4 needs 8,000 calories per day. 6 months is 180 days. That's 1,440,000 calories you need stored before the conflict begins. 1.4 million calories. Now walk into your storage and start counting. Not cans. Calories. Item 5, white rice. Bulk amount 50 to 100 pounds minimum. Price right now about $30 to $50 depending on where you purchase. 1 pound of white rice holds approximately 1,650 calories. 100 pounds equals 165,000 calories. Unlimited shelf life if stored dry in sealed containers. 0 cooling needed. Cooks with just water and heat. Rice is the energy foundation, the base for every meal. The cheapest fuel per pound you can purchase. They're purchasing variety packs and meal kits. You're purchasing bulk basics. Item 6, dried beans and lentils. 50 pounds minimum. Price roughly $50 to $75 for quality dried legumes. Beans deliver protein, fiber, and calories. Mixed with rice, you get complete nutrition, all necessary amino acids. 1 pound of dried beans is roughly 1,500 calories. 50 pounds equals 75,000 calories. Storage life over a year, often multiple years if kept properly. Price contrast. Dried beans cost about $1 per pound. Freeze-dried meal kits cost $10 per pound or higher. Same calories, 10 times the price. Item 7. Cooking oil, multiple gallons. Vegetable oil, canola, whatever's cheapest. Price about $30 to $50 for 5 gallons. 1 pound of cooking oil holds approximately 4,000 calories. Fat is the most energy-packed nutrient. Your body cannot properly absorb nutrients without dietary fat. You can eat rice and beans every day and still develop malnutrition if you're not getting fat. Taste matters at month 6. Plain rice and beans become mentally unbearable. Oil makes food edible. It's not a luxury. It's sustainability. And here's what the crowds miss completely. They stockpile carbs and protein. They forget fat. 3 months in, they're eating but not absorbing. Losing weight despite full meals. Item 8. Sugar and honey. 25 pounds minimum. Price roughly $30 to $40. Pure fuel. Honey never goes bad. Sugar lasts forever if kept dry. Both deliver instant glucose. Both preserve other foods. Both work as trading money when cash becomes worthless. Mental nourishment matters. Morale breaks when every meal is tasteless survival food. A small amount of sweetness keeps mental health stable. Let me show you the numbers that separate living from dying. 100 pounds of rice, 50 pounds of beans, 5 gallons of oil, 25 pounds of sugar. Total price approximately $200. Total calories roughly 400,000. That's 200 days of survival for one person or 50 days for a family of 4. Compare that to freeze-dried meal kits. $1,200 purchases, you may be 30 days of food at best. Same money, 6 times less survival time. They stockpile variety. They get bored, throw away food, starve. You stockpile numbers. You survive. Food handled. But food is useless if you can't drink or cook it. Let's discuss the infrastructure products that separate living humans from dead bodies when utilities collapse. Average person needs 1 gallon of water per day for drinking. Family of 4 needs 4 gallons daily. 6 months requires 720 gallons. Where do you store 721-gallon bottles? You don't. You create it. They're purchasing cases of bottled water, stacking them in garages and basements, spending hundreds of dollars on a limited resource that disappears in weeks. When those bottles are empty, they're finished. No backup strategy, no creation ability. You're purchasing creation infrastructure. Item 9. Gravity-fed water filtration system. Berkey type or similar. Price approximately $250 to $350, depending on size and filter strength. These systems create clean drinking water from almost any source. Stream water, rainwater, swimming pool water, questionable city supply. The multi-level filtration eliminates bacteria, viruses, heavy metals, chemical pollutants. One set of replacement filters handles roughly 6,000 gallons before needing replacement. Unlimited clean water from any available source. No electricity needed. Gravity handles the work. The water equation is absolute. 3 days without water and you're dead. Not 3 weeks, not 3 months. 3 days. Dehydration kills quicker than hunger, quicker than most wounds, quicker than cold. A working filtration system is more valuable than a pile of food. Item 10. Water storage containers. 2 to 3 55-gallon drums minimum. Price roughly $150 to $200 for food-grade containers. Emergency reserve while you find water sources. Rainwater gathering ability. Washing and sanitation water separate from drinking supply. Rotation system to maintain stored water fresh. Solid containers. Not collapsible bags that tear and leak. Not cheap plastic that breaks down. food-grade polyethylene built for long-term water storage. Item 11. Multi-fuel camping stove with fuel options. Price $100 to $200 for a quality multi-fuel unit. Propane, white gas, kerosene with gasification ability. When one fuel source becomes unavailable, you switch to another. Cooking equals survival. You cannot eat raw rice and dried beans. The crowds purchase single-fuel stoves. Propane disappears. Stove becomes useless. You purchase flexibility. Item 12. Fuel stabilizer and stored gasoline. Price approximately $50 for stabilizer plus whatever fuel you can legally and safely store. Vehicles, generators, trading money. Fuel stabilizer extends storage life to 2 years or longer. 20 to 30 gallons represent strategic reserve. When gas stations go empty and prices reach $20 per gallon, if you can even locate it, you're mobile while they're stuck. Creation beats stockpiling. That's the concept separating survivors from dead bodies. Limited stockpiles disappear always. Creation ability continues. Water filter keeps creating. Multi-fuel stove keeps cooking. Fuel reserve keeps you moving. Utilities fail during World War scenarios. Power grid becomes unstable or stops completely. Water treatment facilities shut down. Gas stations empty. The infrastructure you rely on every single day vanishes. The prepared have creation systems. The unprepared have bottles and cans that run empty. Water, food, fuel handled. Those keep you alive for 6 months. But at month 7, when your equipment fails and theirs is already garbage, what separates you? Tools, repairability. The products nobody considers until it's too late. Month 8, your water filter blocks. Your camp stove won't light. Your shelter tarp rips in a windstorm. What do? Drive to REI and purchase replacement from where? With what cash? Using what supply chain? This is why they perish and you don't. You stockpiled repairability. The crowds think in terms of buying. How much equipment should I purchase? How many backup products? They stockpile quantity. 5 flashlights, 3 knives, 2 stoves. When something fails, they throw it away and grab the backup. When the backups disappear, they're finished. You think in terms of maintenance. How do I keep it functioning? Item 13, manual tools. Hand-operated drill, crosscut saw, files, adjustable wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers. Price approximately $150 to $250 for quality steel tools. When the power grid stops permanently, power tools become useless chunks of metal. Cordless drills with empty batteries. Circular saws with no electricity. Beautiful tools completely worthless. Manual tools function forever. A hand drill creates holes. A crosscut saw cuts wood. Files sharpen metal. Wrenches tighten bolts. No electricity needed. No batteries. No fuel. Just human strength and mechanical advantage. Quality steel tools last generations. Depression-era tools still function today because steel doesn't break down. The crowds purchase cheap power tools. You purchase quality hand tools. Item 14. Fasteners and adhesives. Mixed pack. Screws, bolts, washers, nuts, zip ties, duct tape, epoxy, superglue. Price roughly $100 to $150 for complete selection. Small products. Enormous usefulness. A screw fixes a door hinge. Zip ties hold torn fabric. Epoxy seals a cracked water container. Super glue repairs broken equipment. These are the products that keep everything else working. Hardware stores get rated last. Nobody's battling over boxes of screws when they can grab generators and power tools. You walk in calmly and purchase the boring essentials that truly matter. Item 15. Sewing supplies. Heavy-duty needles, strong thread, buttons, fabric patches, leather repair materials. Price approximately $50 to $75 for quality supplies. Clothing doesn't last 2 years under heavy use. Tears, rips, worn seams, missing buttons. New clothes become impossible to find. The option becomes fix or go without. Sewing extends equipment life. A patched jacket functions. A torn jacket doesn't. A repaired backpack carries weight. A broken backpack is trash. The skill is basic. The impact is survival. Item 16. Sharpening stones. Rough and smooth grit. Price roughly $30 to $50 for quality stones. Dull knives need more force. More force means more work. More work means exhaustion. Exhaustion means errors. Errors mean wounds. A dull axe is more dangerous than a sharp one because you're battling the tool instead of working with it. Sharpening keeps cutting edges sharp forever. One stone lasts decades. A sharp knife, a sharp axe, sharp tools mean productivity. Productivity means you save energy for what matters. The crowds let tools get dull and throw them away. You maintain tools and use them for years. This is a division point. 6-month survivors versus multi-year survivors. Resource waste versus resource care. Tools maintain physical systems. But there's one system most preparedness people completely ignore until it's disastrously too late. Information communication, knowledge, the invisible infrastructure that multiplies everything else. When the internet stops permanently, what happens to your knowledge? You need to clean water, but your filter failed. You don't recall the boiling duration. You don't recall the chemical amounts for chlorine treatment. You can't search online. The information is lost. This is why you stockpiled information while they stockpiled bullets. Item 17. Offline reference books, medical guides, survival manuals, wild edible plant identification, mechanical repair, basic building. Price approximately $100 to $150 for a complete library. Paper doesn't need electricity. Books don't malfunction. Physical references function when every digital device is dead or broken. The knowledge stays reachable. Specific titles matter. Generic survival books are useless. You need detailed medical steps, dosing charts, diagnosis flowcharts. You need illustrated plant guides with clear photographs, not artistic drawings. You need mechanical repair manuals with diagrams and details. Knowledge equals problem-solving ability. Problems you can't foresee need solutions you haven't learned. Item 18. Printed maps. Local region. Regional coverage. Topographic details. Price roughly $50 to $75 for complete map set. GPS stops when satellites fail or ground stations close. Phone maps need internet. When both fail, navigation becomes impossible without physical maps. Identify water sources, plan travel routes, find potential shelter locations, understand ground elevation and natural obstacles. Waterproof maps survive weather. Paper maps function forever. The crowd depend on phones. You depend on paper. Item 19. Hand crank or solar-powered radio. AM, FM, shortwave weather bands. Price approximately $50 to $100 for quality emergency radio. Information access when the grid is down. Emergency broadcasts. Situation awareness. Weather alerts. Know what's happening beyond your immediate area. Isolation equals danger. You cannot make smart decisions without information. A radio tells you where military action is focusing, where refugee groups are moving, what zones to avoid, what resources might be accessible. Battery-dependent radios stop when batteries die. Hand crank and solar versions function forever. Item 20. Writing supplies. Notebooks, pens, pencils, carbon paper. Price approximately $30 to $50 for significant supply. Record keeping, inventory tracking, communication when digital systems are dead, recording of events, decisions, resource use. Carbon paper makes copies without electricity. Pencils never dry out like pens. Graphite lasts. Information tracking becomes essential when you can't depend on memory and you can't reach databases. That's the full list. 20 products for strategic categories. Medical and hygiene. Items 1 through 4. The biological truths that truly kill people. Food. Items 5 through 8. Energy numbers over comfort variety. Infrastructure. Items 9 through 12. Water and fuel creation ability. Tools and knowledge. Items 13 through 20. Maintenance, repair, information edge. The crowd stockpile consumption. Limited supplies that disappear. You stockpile ability. Systems that continue. At month 12 and beyond, Problem-solving beats resource collecting. You can't stockpile answers to unknown problems. You stockpile the ability to solve problems as they appear. Information multiplies everything else. Knowledge plus tools plus resources equals answers. Without knowledge, resources get thrown away on failed tries. 20 products. For strategic categories, the 99% overlook. But products alone don't promise survival. Let me show you how these 20 products form a system that's more valuable than the individual parts. Here's what separates random stockpiling from strategic system planning. These 20 products don't sit in storage, waiting for emergency. They interact. They rely on each other. They create a survival system. Medical products stop the infections and sicknesses that would stop you from collecting water, using tools, keeping shelter, cooking food. You can't work with dysentery or a tooth infection. Health enables everything else. Food delivers the energy to do physical work. Water gathering is labor. Tool use needs strength. Shelter care requires effort. Without calories, you can't complete any survival task properly. Water enables food making. Rice and beans are worthless dry. Water permits hygiene habits that stop the medical problems that disable you. Water cleans tools and equipment. Tools keep all other equipment working. Water filters block and need cleaning. Stoves fail and need fixing. Shelters need building and care. Without tools, everything else breaks down to nothing. Information shows you how to use everything best. Water cleaning ratios, medical treatment steps, tool methods, calorie figures. Without knowledge, you throw away resources on failed tries. The system is connected. Weakness in one category creates danger across the whole network. Missing medical supplies causes infections that stop work. No water means no food making. Broken tools that can't be fixed make everything harder. Missing information means wasteful resource use. 20 products together create more worth than 20 products alone. That's the network impact. Practical use. Don't store all 20 categories in one place. Fire, theft, evacuation situations make single-point storage disastrous. Spread out strategically. Test and rotate now. Use the water filter. Cook with the stove. Practice tool fixes. Read the reference books. Rotate food supplies. Test everything before emergency, not during emergency. System created. 20 products mapped. You understand the strategic categories. Now for the part nobody wants to hear. The dark reality about stockpiling. Everything I just explained has an end date. Month 18. Your rice runs low. Your water filter finally breaks beyond fixing. Your tools fail. What then? The reality nobody wants to admit. All stockpiles are limited. You're purchasing time, not forever. 20 products give you 6 to 24 months depending on home size and use control. Not forever. Time to determine what comes next. Other people see when you're still working at month 12. You're drinking clean water while they're sick. You're eating while they're starving. You're working while they're desperate. Operational hiding becomes impossible long-term. Desperation turns into violence. January 2026 is your last peaceful window. Spring brings tension. Summer brings emergency. Once panic begins, these 20 products vanish from shelves in 48 hours. Not gradually, instantly, and prices jump when shortage arrives. That $30 bag of rice becomes $90 if you can locate it. The 99% already fail by waiting. February means higher prices and less selection. March means shortages start. April onward means panic purchasing, bare shelves, missing products. The choice window is now, not later. Here's what you do right now. Open a spreadsheet. List all 20 products. Price check each one online. Amazon, Costco, local hardware stores, drugstore chains. Figure total price. Realistically, you're facing $800 to $1,500 for complete list, depending on quality selections and home size. Purchase spread out. 25% this week. Another 25% next week. Remaining 50% by end of January. Spread purchases across multiple stores. Don't attract attention purchasing everything at once. Store spread out, not all in one place. Fire, theft, evacuation situations make single-point storage disastrous. Test everything before you need it. Run water through the filter. Cook meals on the stove. Use the tools. Read the reference books. Know the equipment functions and know how to use it. The two-option choice. Act in January when products are available, affordable, and nobody's fighting for them. Or wait until February, March, April when panic arrives, prices jump, and shelves go bare. 99% will scroll past this video and do nothing. They'll convince themselves it won't happen. They'll claim they have time. They'll wait until the emergency alert system triggers, until the traffic jams begin, until the panic is real, and then they'll join the rush, battling over toilet paper and canned soup, spending 3 times the money for a fraction of supplies, running out in 3 months, and die with worthless stockpiles. You're different. You're viewing this in January. You're planning strategically while they're reacting emotionally. You're ready to act when action is easy. The question is whether you're part of the 1% who just considers it or the 0.1% who truly creates the spreadsheet, prices of products, and purchases them this month. When February 12th arrives and China attacks Taiwan, you'll know precisely which group you're in. Welcome to January 2026, the final peaceful month. While they're browsing, you're preparing.